I wasn't in the restaurant business when I opened Berri's Cafe. I
You
designed
learned
restaurants,
it.
bar, lounge, nightclub, but I could see by just being a client and going to restaurants, I could observe the lack of service, lack of quality food, lack of design, lack of music, lack of vibes.
Right.
So pretty much I took that. I said, okay, if I'm going to do something I never tried before, let's do the things I really like first. And so I pretty much put the things I needed for myself. What do I like? I like the late night. I like the dim light.
I like good food, right,
I like
yeah.
good
Good
wine.
music, yeah.
I like good presentation, and I like good service. So I took all the things I like, and we come up with the Berri's Cafe concept, basically.
And I think the fact that he was creative as a designer, Berri's was a creative outlet for him. He was able to design the place himself, get all the music together because he's very much into music, create the atmosphere, talk to people.
Even probably the menu, all of
The
it.
menu,
There was a creativity there. I think that's a
It's very
great point,
creative,
Tensha. Yeah.
He's always
Absolutely.
redesigning the restaurant, I want to say, every 2 years.
and I grew up in the kitchen with my mom, so I really have, I think I have
passion
the
for
right palate
food.
for the food.
Yes,
I
absolutely. And I think that's one thing we need to point out to everyone, myself included, is, taking a leap sounds spontaneous, right? It sounds like, hey, I'm just going to do it. But in fact, it usually requires a lot more planning and a lot more mental conception. So taking a leap doesn't have to be instantaneous, it doesn't have to be spontaneous. It can happen, but it takes a while. I know with me personally, it took me almost 2 years to give myself mental permission to change out of corporate finance, which is what I was doing, and redirect myself to what I knew I always wanted to do, which was communications. But it's not easy to do that.
And here you are today.
And here I am today, rocking LA Talk Radio.
It really works, and don't be afraid to try something you've never done before.
Right.
As long as you think it's something you like and something you want to do. And if you try to be very surprised what's going to come up.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And on that point, we're going to move over to Craig here. We're going to get you a little more involved with the conversation. Yours is really an interesting story as well, because this is a man, folks, who has a really, he's been in Hollywood for a long time. He produced the Queen Latifah Show. He has written for The Hollywood Reporter. He has written for the LA Times, the Huffington Post, was the associate bureau chief with People Magazine for a number of years.
I'm impressed by myself.
You're so impressive, Craig.
Good job, Craig.
Thank you.
I had the lovely pleasure of interviewing Craig about 6 months ago now, Craig, I think it was.
Yep.
Via the other show that I work with, Book Circle Online. If you follow me at home, some of you do. I know you watch me on Book Circle, where we interview authors. Craig's newest venture is this book right here called The Candidates. And it's a book about, it's an interesting book. I'm going to let you talk about what the book's about. But before you do, Craig basically took his life, his repertoire, and decided to eject from it. Took 21 days, traveled 10,000 miles around the country to sit and talk to people who were candidates, who put their names on the list for President of the United States. 2016, there were 1,300 people in this land, including Donald Trump, who put his name on the down to be considered President of the United States. And you went out to interview a handful of them with the most interesting stories, to delve into sort of what made them dream. So chat with me a little bit about the candidates.
And by the way, I'm just a little disappointed you didn't bring steak for everybody today. So
I'm taking you for lunch after.
okay, all right, good to know.